Hello everybody, I am Jedi Jack Penguin and welcome back to another LEGO Harry Potter review. So today I'm really excited to be taking a look at the largest set for 2022, that being set number 76405, the Hogwarts Express Collector's Edition. This set includes a whopping 5,129 pieces, retailing for the big price of $499.99. Yes, that's a $30 price increase from the original rumors when it released August 31st of 2022. Now yes, I've expressed my thoughts many times about LEGO releasing this on August 31st and not on September 1st when they released other products. It is really annoying that they are starting to do this with their direct-to-consumers more and more often, where they're just releasing them on separate days, especially when they are this expensive. It makes you have to go to the store twice, though you don't really have to go to the store twice. You can just order it online, or you don't even have to buy it at all like I did. I waited, and the waiting really paid off. Now, in addition to actually getting 2 promos with this set, if you bought this back on August 31st, I don't think there were any promos available unless your store had leftovers of the Hogwarts Staircase set. But I also got $125 back in VIP points because LEGO was running a 5x VIP event on this particular set, as it hasn't really been selling to their expectations. I got it the day the event started just in case this set sold out, but it looks like these sets still haven't really been selling well, even with up to $125 off. Now, talking about the box art design, of course you get that black box art as you see with all of these 18+ style sets. You get that dark blue greebling from the bottom, Wizarding World and Harry Potter logo, LEGO logo, and also a specialized logo for the Hogwarts Express Collector's Edition. I wish that we would have been able to see the platform with all the minifigures, just because I think that would have been a much... That would have actually sold this set to me if I had seen the minifigures on the front of the box. Just seeing the train, I mean, I guess it's okay. I like that it goes off because it doesn't make me complain that there is a lack of compartments, which is something that I am going to talk about in this video. But of course, with what we got here, I think it's fine, especially for the build. It's really the minifigures that I think are lacking within this set. From the back of the box, you actually get a pretty good shot of the platform with your minifigures interacting there. You happen to get some interior shots, also noting that we get some light bricks in this set, your measurements, as well as a real-life picture of the Hogwarts Express. So yeah, that's all that I really have to say about the box. I've been really excited to bust this open and see what's inside, so let's take a look at that. Pouring out the contents of the box, you have some loose bags as well as another box, which should feature more bags. Let's open that one up and take a look at the bag distribution. I have not had a set do this to me in quite some time. Look at all of those bags. 45 individually numbered, 2 unnumbered bags, in addition to 2 loose flex tube pieces. And you also happen to get this folder with the instructions here and sticker sheet, which we're going to look at in just a minute, but just want you all to take this in. So many bags in this set. I mean, some of them are a little unnecessary. You can see there are some numbered bags that are really, really small, which I think could have been fitted in some of the other numbered bags, so it is a bit of a tease in that sense. But overall, a substantial amount of pieces are included in this set for $500. I'm really excited to start building it and take a look at what the finished product looks like. Thankfully, looks like everything is intact. Taking a quick look at our sticker sheet, we have our display plaque, which all of these should start being printed come 2023, so look forward to that. Hopefully LEGO sticks to their word. But we have quite a number of references, a bunch of Hogwarts logos, and various 9 3/4 insignias throughout this sticker sheet. We also happen to have some quotes, which I guess are nice. We'll talk more about that when we actually see them implemented into the build. Now, something LEGO has started doing quite a lot recently is including multiple instruction manuals so families can build a set together. We have our first instructions where you build the front of the train. We have the coal cart. We have the passenger compartment. And lastly, we have the platform at King's Cross Station. From the front of the first instruction manual, you get some special information about the Hogwarts Express and a little picture with our measurements of this particular set. This goes on for a few pages in various different languages, also highlighting the scenes that you can recreate within this set with your minifigures, and that brings you right along to the bag distribution for this set. The front and back of the second and third instructions don't feature anything too exciting, but taking a look at the back of the fourth instructions, we have this little marking that you'll also see on the back of the other 3 instruction booklets. And we have your piece count for quite a few pages here, leading to the final overall model for this particular set. To start off our minifigure selection, we have one of 4 variations of Harry Potter included in this set. Starting at year 1, this figure is not exclusive, also coming within the 2021 Advent calendar, which is a little disappointing. I believe you can also get this version in a book set, and the torso piece originated back in the Diagon Alley set as part of that special gift that you got at the very end of building this set. Get the printing from the front and the back, that classic style for the outfit that Harry wears when he first rides the train to Hogwarts. I love this torso print, it's really well done. You get the dark tan legs, same facial expression and hairpiece that was introduced back in 2018 with the smile from the front and then a scared look from the very back. Another added bonus to this character is the fact that you get a chocolate frog card as the accessory. Skipping a year and aging up a bit from year 3, this version of Harry is exclusive because of the torso print, which I think is actually a much better torso print than I guess the year 3 casual Harry print that we've been getting for years. I think this works very well to represent his outfit on the train ride. You get the printing from the front and the back, some extra lines to define the figure, mid-sized legs for year 3. And the same facial expression that was introduced back in 2019 for that year 3/4 version of Harry, with the smile from the front, and then an unhappy look from the back. Skipping to year 6, this version of Harry may not look special, however, we do get 2 brand new prints, one for the torso piece, which turned out alright. You get the printing from the front and the back, as well as what you may not think is a brand new facial expression with that regular old smile from the front, but when you spin it right around, we have a reference that I'm really surprised to see LEGO include, where we have that scene where Draco stomps on Harry's face and breaks his glasses. Now, I think that's really amazing. Only thing I have to comment on, of course, as someone who knows the books, is the fact that Tonks should be in this set instead of Luna. But no matter, I think this figure turned out great. Really love the new facial expression, one that I really didn't expect to see LEGO include in a set like this. Fully grown from the epilogue, I'm really surprised that we got Harry and his family in this set. It's definitely fitting, as I don't think they would have been included anywhere else, so it is a little disappointing that we didn't see Ron and Hermione and their family. But for this figure, we get a brand new torso print as well as a brand new facial expression where you get that stubble and that like old Harry look where you get some extra lines around his face, which I think is really funny. Printing from both the front and the back of the torso, some lines to define it. I also do like that the stubble from the beard does show up on the back of the head. I think that works very well. But spinning him right back around, we'll take a look at that other facial expression. We get the smile from the front, and from the other side, we have another open mouth grin. Really an interesting figure. Hairpiece I think works fine, but as far as the minifigure selection goes, this one has to be my favorite. Switching gears back to year 1, we have Ronald Weasley, who comes with 2 brand new prints for the torso and the facial expression. You get a little bit of dirt on his nose, which is really amazing that LEGO went all out by including that print, much better than giving us a reused facial expression. We get a smile from the front, and you can turn it right around to see one where he's stuffing his face with chocolates, which you can see we have like a chocolate frog wrapper in one pocket and a lollipop, and we also get another sweet as an accessory. Love that torso print, works very well to represent his character. Same hairpiece that we saw for his minifigure back in 2018. Overall, another really great figure that I expect many people will be happy to get their hands on. Year 3 Ron also comes with a brand new print for the torso, front and back. You get those mid-sized legs for Year 3 in that dark brown color, which I believe were introduced back in 2019. And the facial expression, same one as 2019, hairpiece same as 2018, where you get the smirk from the front and then the unhappy look from the back. I don't think they could have included a better version of Hermione Granger in this set than the one that we have here in her unmarked Hogwarts robes. Now this is actually a reference to the train that we got all the way back in 2001, so I think it's really great that we get again those unmarked Hogwarts robes that were introduced back in the 2021 Advent calendar. Skirt and legs were introduced in the Hogwarts Magical Trunk back in March, where you get this troll's skirt piece, as well as those dual molded legs with the black and the dark gray in the middle, just to show how those look. We get a wand for the accessory for when she fixes Harry's glasses, which I think is really great. And the facial expression is the same exact one that we saw back in 2018, and the hairpiece is the same as well, with the smile from the front and the scared look from the very back of her figure. Surprisingly for Year 3 Hermione, we get a brand new torso print compared to the one that we got back in the 2018 Hogwarts Express, which I think works well as this one is actually more defined to the size of her figure. Mid-sized legs for Year 3, same facial expression and hairpiece introduced in 2019 for Year 3, with the smile from the front and the unhappy scowl from the back. And you also get some nice back printing on this figure, continuing the lines of her sweatshirt. Moving right along with the characters without duplicates, we have Luna Lovegood, who has the regular size legs to represent her 5th year self, which is actually accurate to how LEGO stages these mid-size regular legs, compared to the one that we got back in the 2018 CMF that had the mid-size legs. This is actually a lot more accurate and in the same scale as the one that we got back in 2010. Get the printing from the front of the legs leading up to the belt piece up to the main torso there. You can see a little bit of the torso print continuing down to the belt piece. You get that side handbag, which we also saw within the $20 set for this year in that dark blue, the Indiana Jones bag. Get some printing from the back of the torso. We'll remove that hair piece real quick so you can see what that looks like, which also reveals our other facial expression. In addition to the regular old smile, we get the Spectre specs from the other side, which work very well for this particular scene. We also get the same hairpiece that was introduced in 2018, and I do have to note that this facial expression will appear again next year in 2023. Also from the Half-Blood prints, we get a new variant of Draco Malfoy, who's exclusive because of this brand new torso print. Facial expression is the same old one that we've been getting since 2019, that Shang-Chi facial expression, which I don't really think works. Thank God LEGO is making a brand new one next year in 2023. You get that scowl from the front, and then an even angrier look from the back side. Same old yellow color for the hairpiece. I would like to see them bring that to tan. That's really the next thing that LEGO needs to do to fix this figure. As for the torso piece, I believe that'll also appear again next year in 2023, where you get that little Slytherin logo on the tie, which I really like. No leg printing, which would have made this figure better, but overall it is what it is. Some defining lines from the very back of the torso. Decent figure, but not the best one of the set. Harry's wife, Ginny Weasley, makes her appearance from the epilogue, which looks really amazing. I love this figure. You get a brand new torso print as well as a facial expression, which may even work better than the facial expression that they made for her in the first place for this reboot line. This really captures Bonnie Wright's face a lot better than the other facial expression. I mean, just look at it. It looks really great, and we'll turn that around to take a look at the other side. Better facial expression. Look at that. That facial expression really works for Ginny. Perfect. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Now we'll just spin her around to take a look at the back printing, and I'll remove that hairpiece so you can see those defining lines yet again for this figure. As I said before, both Harry and Ginny in the set are probably my favorite figures just because they're figures that we probably never would have seen in LEGO form otherwise. Now on to Harry and Ginny's children. We have the oldest, James Sirius Potter, named after James Potter and Sirius Black. You get a brand new torso print, though the facial expression previously appeared back in 2021 Jurassic World of 4+ set, where you get a smile from the front, and you spin it around to see a scared look from the back, which I don't know if that really works or not. Hairpiece is the same hairpiece that we see for Cole from Ninjago, which I think actually works very well for one of Harry's children. It's definitely one of the hairpieces I would have chosen. Get those mid-sized legs to represent a year 3/4 situation in that dark blue, and get the printing continued from the very back with the hoodie. Now, the two younger of their children, I'm a little bit more disappointed, mainly because of the facial expression to get that common reuse boy and girl facial expression for both Albus and Lily. This is Albus Severus Potter, named after Albus Dumbledore and Severus Snape, two of the bravest men that Harry ever knew, which I'm a little disappointed that that is not the quote that they have on this set, but the one that they chose for the epilogue is probably the best of the quotes that they chose at all. They get a brand new torso print, front and back, and again that facial expression is nothing special, with the common reuse boy facial expression with the smile, and then the unhappy face from the very back. Hairpiece is one that we've seen used for Harry's minifigure in the past. Lily Luna Potter, named after Lily Potter and Luna Lovegood. This figure is actually a little bit better in my opinion, even though I don't like the facial expression. I say that because we get a brand new torso print as well as a brand new recolor of the Ginny Weasley hairpiece. You may notice that this is not actually that orange color, it's like a slightly nougaty color. I'll put Ginny over here just so then you can see that little bit of a comparison between the hair colors. I think that's really interesting that they decided to do this and not just give her the same old hair color that we saw for Ginny. Again, brand new torso print, which I think works well for this particular scene. Front and back printing, and we get the same old reused girl facial expression with the happy and unhappy looks from the front and the back there. You know, I really love seeing LEGO include Hogwarts unity and diversity in their sets, but these next two figures are really wasted spots in my opinion, as we could have seen at least Ron and Hermione in their place. I think that would have worked a lot better, but to start off these two random characters, we have a Hufflepuff student who has the same exact hairpiece that we saw introduced in the Captain America or Falcon CMF minifigure. Facial expression came from Jurassic World, though the torso piece is surprisingly brand new to this set. I think that's only because we get the brown hands for the flesh tone. No leg printing, which is a little disappointing considering that these are school robes, and it is also kind of surprising that these are really the only school robes that we see in this set other than Hermione's. You get the back printing with the little hoodie, and I'll also turn around that facial expression so you can see the other side where you get a smirk from the front. And then from the other side, a scared look. Looks like everybody has a scared look, as it is the first day back to Hogwarts. Now for the Ravenclaw student included, I actually really like this figure just because it's a really interesting combination of parts. You get one accessory of the ticket to get onto the Hogwarts Express, platform 9 3/4. This was introduced back in the Advent calendar. Really great to get this again in the set. You'll also get it another time. Really wonderful 1x2 tile print. You get the same legs and skirt piece that was introduced in the Hogwarts Magical Trunk that we also see for Hermione in the set. You can see the dual molding for the legs and the skirt piece that was introduced in Trolls and how that connect. Torso piece, just like our last figure, is probably only exclusive because of the flesh tone color being used for the hands. Otherwise, we've seen these torso pieces being used since the beginning of the 20th anniversary wave. The hoodie from the back. Hairpiece is nothing special, though the flesh tone for this particular character is really great to get in another set. And it is indeed the same exact facial expression that you'll also see appear within the Hogwarts Magical Trunk, with the smile from the front, and then an unhappy look from the back. Boarding the Hogwarts Express to search for Sirius Black, we have one of the Dementors of Azkaban, which is the same exact design that we saw introduced back in 2018, with the ghost-style legs, minifigure build up there with the printing from the front of the torso, ripped up cape piece, printing for the head, which I'll remove the hood piece, which is the same old design that we've been getting forever for LEGO Star Wars. Really great to get another one of these for army building. Kinda surprised we haven't seen an army building type set with Dementors and Death Eaters as of yet. You know, this is another figure that I'm actually really surprised and think is one of the best ones included in this set. We have Professor Remus Lupin. Hairpiece returns from 2018. Facial expression is the same one that was introduced in the Shrieking Shack for this year, where you have a little bit of a grin from the front, and from the back, can see that he's beginning to transform into a werewolf. I would have liked to have seen a sleeping face on his figure. That's really my only complaint. I think that would have been really fitting, especially for this particular scene. Now, the torso and leg prints are both exclusive to this set, and I think they turned out really great. I love the ruggedness, and the colors work very well. We'll spin around to the back where you can see the printing continued, and some more scuff marks from the back with the hoodie. Anything off the trolley? We have the Trolley Witch, who appears again since 2018. We get the same facial expression as the one that we saw back then, the Aunt May face. Hairpiece isn't too common in that color, so it's nice to get. Torso piece is brand new for this particular version. Front and back printing, no leg or arm prints, which I don't really think are necessary for this figure. We also get a little trolley for her to push around where we use this stamp piece that she can hold on to, and some clip pieces at the very bottom as some wheels. You get a sticker from this side, and you get a sticker from the other side on that 2x3 tile piece. That building on the side is really nice. Get some sweets up here, as well as a box of Birdie Bots Every Flavor beans, another print that was introduced back in March, and a whole line of those chocolate frogs. It is a little weird that we don't have any chocolate frog cards in this set. I'm kind of surprised that we didn't, because that is definitely something that I would have liked to have seen in here, especially if they were able to give everyone a Dumbledore card within this particular set. I think that would have worked very well, but it seems that LEGO is finally running out of those prints, as they might not be appearing in the sets next year in 2023. And the final minifigure included in this set is the train conductor, who we're actually getting for the very first time. Now, this is a character that I've never really seen before, I guess, because he's not really pictured within the films. I guess there might be behind the scenes stuff where we get to see him, but it's just not something that I've ever really concerned myself looking for, because it's just not something that we see within the Harry Potter universe. Nobody really goes to visit this guy. I guess Lupin does within Prisoner of Azkaban. We hear about it in the book, but this figure really goes all out by including those brand new prints for the torso and the headpiece. You get that brand new color for the skin tone, which I did have to say right off the bat that this figure does look a lot like the designer of the set, which I think is really hilarious. It's amazing that he was able to put himself within his very last design for the Harry Potter theme. They get the printing from both the front and the back of the torso. No double-sided facial expression, as that isn't covered up by the little conductor's hat in that dark red color, which is really nice to get in a set like this, though is pretty common to Lego City, which is a theme that I don't really collect too much, so still really nice to get. All aboard the Hogwarts Express. Here it is in all of its glory. This thing is humongous. It barely fits on my table. It really reaches both ends. I can't even show the whole thing on screen without showing other things that I have around me. And the shelf that I originally planned on displaying this set on was way too short, which was a little disappointing. I had to move some things around, but now I have a happy home for this set, along with all of the other Hogwarts Expresses in my collection. Look forward to my comparison videos sometime in 2023. Now, to get us started, I did want to take a look at a rather large printed tile piece that's included loose inside the box, or at least inside a bag within the box. That being your Hogwarts Express ticket. London to Hogwarts for a one-way travel, platform 9 3/4. Issued subject to the rules and regulations of the Hogwarts Express Railway authorities. Look at this thing, really shiny and beautiful. I love this print, really amazing. Works well with the Hogwarts letter that you actually got within the Hogwarts Icon set way back when, so this actually serves a purpose somewhat because it'll fit in with that stuff. But again, it's really funny to see LEGO make a giant version of something so small. It's really like they expanded the same exact print that they use on this thing, except making it better, because you can see a lot of the details and the line work in this piece. But as I said, just LEGO going all out with these prints for Harry Potter. It's really amazing. Of course, this budget could have been used for our minifigure selection, but at the same time, it's something nice and interesting and weird to see included in a set like this. Now, in addition to the build for the train, we also happen to get a build for the station, platform 9 3/4. We're going to start by taking a look at that, and then we'll move to the railway system and the train itself, which is so big. Running through the barrier between platforms 9 and 10 at King's Cross Station, you find yourself on platform 9 3/4 in front of the Hogwarts Express. Now, the station build is really nice, however, I think these pieces could have easily gone within the train, and making the train just a little bit smaller, giving it some more passenger compartments, would have made this set a lot more reasonable to certain collectors. For me as a whole, I'm really happy with how this design turned out. I love all of the tiling off, and also the jumper plates in which you can actually place your minifigures on the platform. You don't have to worry about them falling off. That's another thing that I really have to point out when it comes to this design. I also like that we get that black border at the bottom, just like you'll see for the train track. You get a lot of building on this side and a lot of curves. I love getting these masonry brick pieces in that nougaty color. We also get a display plaque from the very front, which unfortunately is inaccurate. I'll put a picture up right now of what it's supposed to look like. Unfortunately, some of the sticker sheets were misprinted for this, which is a little disappointing. Hopefully they get on fixing that. They probably won't, considering this set isn't really selling at the price point that they put it at. But at the end of the day, what can you do? I don't really think many people read what's on those display plates anyways. I'll probably just remove it. I think it looks a lot better without. Trying to get everything in focus, we have our very first quote on this 2x4 circular tile that says, "Dad, what if I'm put in Slytherin?" which is said by Albus Severus Potter. Now, I think this is a great quote, and probably the best quote of the 4 that are actually put in this set. I am really disappointed by the quotes that they put inside the train. I could definitely find better ones, but at the end of the day, I honestly just wish that they removed the quotes completely, because it just doesn't really feel right to me having these quotes just everywhere within the set. When it comes to the rest of the design for this archway, I really love getting all of these tile pieces. You get a lot of those hinge plates in order to create the framework there. We have a sticker on this flag piece that has platform 9 3/4. We have another sticker on this 2x4 tile piece, again with 9 3/4 Hogwarts Express. You get it from both sides of the situation there. You can also see some of these lamps, which I really love how those are designed using the ball piece in white, and also the use of the lever in order to create that little support. I really like how that's done. Lots and lots and lots of building on the side across the board. Now, before we get to the rest of the platform, I should talk about the trunks and the trolleys that our characters are holding. First, we have one for Albus, where we get this 1x2 print for a letter inside the trunk, which is one of those flat top trunks which were introduced back in March. We have one of these window pane pieces. Now, what's on that as a sticker are some clothes, probably the white undershirt that goes in your Hogwarts uniform. We also get the return of the wand box piece that was introduced in Diagon Alley. You can open that right up, get a wand for Albus. Now for the trolley design, it's pretty simple. You get one of those bar connections so you can have your minifigure hold on, and you get those skateboarding wheels from the very bottom of it. I also like getting these little railings from the side. I think it looks nice. And you get the jumper plates on the very top in order to place accessories. Alongside our Hufflepuff student, we have quite a lot of interesting pieces, one of which being this tan owl, which was introduced back with the 20th anniversary sets. That same 1x2 print for the ticket from the 2021 Advent calendar, some potions, that flat top trunk which we saw introduced back in March, and inside we have yet another window pane, this time with some more colors for the clothes. You can see the yellow and black for Hufflepuff. The overall aesthetic of this is really nice. I do like that it ends at a certain point, and it does feel like something you may want to buy multiples of in order to actually extend the platform if you want. You could even get more passenger cars if you do that. Again, I have to mention a lot of the building on the side and the tiling off is really well done in this set. A lot of the angles accomplished are really unique. Lots of really unique building techniques are included in this set. From the bottom of the back side, you can see it's a little hollow, which I honestly don't mind. We get some of these Technic axle and pin connections in order to actually connect to the track area. This is so then you can actually level the platform with the rest of the design. We only get it from this side. Moving our way up, you can see a lot of the same design when it comes to the archways. I do also have to point out some of the macaroni tile pieces. You get the 6x6 as well as the 3x3 and the 2x2 and that melon slice tile. Really love how they do that just to round the corners of the platform. Really well done by LEGO. We get the same stickers repeated over here for these flag pieces, platform 9 3/4. 9 3/4 Hogwarts Express. Now the last thing that I have to talk about when it comes to this design are the arches at the very top of the build. Now I really like how these are done. You use the clip piece connection in order to get some of these angles. And we also get one of these flex tube pieces, some more building on the side, and that ring piece in black is really nice just to add to the aesthetic. Another thing that I'd like to do is actually remove this all together just to show how this is built using the Technic axle system that works in those holes. Again, lots and lots of building on the side, tiling off those masonry brick, make this a really detailed build for an 18+ set. The second part of the set that you build right after the front locomotive is the train tracks, which are displayed on this black platform, that 18+ style black color. You get a large amount of plate pieces to create the foundation, slope pieces to round out the sides, 1x4 bricks with Technic holes in order to attach the station. I also have to point out the grooves in the track. I believe these pieces are rather old, or at least I know that I've seen these used on older train sets. One use of this piece that I actually have on hand is in the 2002 Gringotts. It was used for the railway cart. I think it's really interesting to see that piece return here, considering the scale of this train is a lot bigger than any other trains that LEGO has ever made in the past. Whether or not they'll make a train bigger than this in future, who's to say? I know that there's one right around the corner from LEGO Ideas, either in 2023 or 2024. But as far as a place to display the final model of this train, I think this works very well. I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. It even leaves room for expansion in case you want to buy multiples of this set to get more of those passenger compartments. From the very front of the track, one thing that I do have to point out that you don't see from the back of it is that we get these extra supports for the front locomotive. This is in order to lock it in place with some extra studs. When it comes to the coal cart in the passenger compartment, those are easily connected using some Technic functions, unlike the magnet connections that we saw pre-2010. Another thing I have to say about this is be very careful when carrying this around. I recommend removing all pieces of the train before picking this up, as it will break in the middle as it's not very sturdy. Out of my building experience for this set, I'd have to say this is the most tedious, repetitive, and most annoying part of this set, though at the end it does turn out looking nice and gives you a perfect place to put your train. Looking at the locomotive, I just have to say the movement of those wheels using all those Technic connections is really beautiful. I love how LEGO was able to get that done. I also should note, when you are holding this above the ground or actually have this on the display platform, we actually get a gear system in order to actually spin the wheels as if it is moving, so that I think is also a really great bonus, as this is not something that you can motorize and not something that I recommend trying to. Now, looking at the rest of this design, I really love how it turned out. The color scheme works very well, though I would have liked to have seen some more gold instead of the yellow being used, but I don't think that's in their control because some of these pieces probably don't exist in those colors as of yet. I do like getting those 3x3 window pieces in yellow, though. Those are pretty nice and probably useful outside the situation. And get a rather long flex tube in the set on both sides, which I believe is brand new. You get the return of this macaroni tile print with the Hogwarts Castle logo, which we saw back in 2018 for that Hogwarts Express. we have some stickers for the model number 5972, which you'll also see from the other side, and conveniently this is also my one missing piece within this set. As I say all the time, when you're missing pieces, contact LEGO, do it right away. They're very nice, and they'll get it to you as soon as possible. From the other side, we have more of the same. I also have to point out these larger train wheels are exclusive to this set, or it might even just be a brand new part number. These are all bundled together, the small ones and the big ones. We only use the big ones on this piece, the small ones we use from the front, as well as for the rest of the train build. Now as we move to the very front, you can see that we have the steam engine. I love getting those macaroni tile pieces surrounding it, and that golden dish piece, which works very well, though is inconsistent to the rest of the color scheme, where we don't really get a lot of gold outside of this, which doesn't even look right with this particular gold color. Compared to getting a printed dish piece from the front, we use a lot of stickers just to help out the front of the design, where we get that Hogwarts Express logo yet again, stickered on one of those 3x3 macaroni tiles, and a 1x2 tile again stickered with the model number of the 5972, which you also saw from the side of the train. Some other things I should point out here is the fact that we get these little lights from the front using the translucent studs. I like getting the little bumper pieces from the very front and how those are built using this Technic connection between the 4 studs. You can also see the axle that runs through to help the locomotive in the wheels, and the gear system within, which I don't really mind not being covered up, as I think it looks extra cool. You can also take a look from the bottom to take a better look at the gear system and how all of this works together. Now the place where you can put your conductor, you get some of those jumper plates so you can stand him there, or you can have him hold on to one of these little railings. You get a lot of wires in here. You get a spot in order to actually pretend that you're moving the train, this little lever, and a spot to pretend to put coal, though technically this runs by magic, but all previous designs have included coal carts and places where you can put the coal. Another thing that I have to point out when it comes to this design is the inclusion of these 1x3 wall tiles, which I think is really great. If you don't know what these are supposed to be, they're supposed to be little like stepping areas so you can have your character get up to the conductor's booth. I think that's really great. Another welcome inclusion to this set. And from the very back, you can see that we have one of these Technic axles, which works in conjunction with the coal cart, which has one of the opposite receivers, in which you can easily just plop this down, and it works well to connect the 2 carts. Now on to the coal cart design. We get some more stickers from both sides. We get one on this 3x3 circular tile with the Hogwarts logo. That is absolutely amazing, though it should have been a print. I wish that that was a print. That's something that really should have been a print that we saw maybe within the Hogwarts Magical Trunk, because I know we saw that on like the keys of that. We also get some more stickers that say Hogwarts Railways from both sides. I really love all the building techniques in order to accomplish how this looks, especially with these rail pieces. Lots of building on this side that's just really interesting. Again, this set has so many unique building techniques in it. You get some more of those bumpers and another axle connection in order to connect the next car. And from the very top, we get some building to represent all of the coal that you would ever need to power the Hogwarts Express, even though it's powered by magic. You get one of these pieces that I believe was introduced in the Hogwarts Icon set, so that's nice to see return here. Again, it's really funny to see them use a lot of these 2x2 and 1x1 circular plates in order to create the coal, sort of the same pieces that they used for Bellatrix's hair. That's just the one thing that came to mind when I was building this. I also have to point out these pieces over here. Those are really interesting to get in red. We also have the compartment in which you unlock to get the coal. I think that's really interesting that they include that. Though one thing that I do have to complain about is the fact that this thing is entirely hollow. It's definitely a wasted opportunity to maybe put something in here as like a hidden feature or something, I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't really care. They get more of those stepping areas and those smaller wheels that we saw from the front of the locomotive. We'll take a look at the bottom just to see the foundation of what the model looks like. Just like all the other versions that we've gotten in the past, we only get one passenger car in this set, and it is a rather hefty one at that. It's the one that has the most compartments that we've ever seen, and it's pretty much minifigure size accurate, which is really amazing. I wouldn't mind getting, say, a separate set where they just sell this piece, because I would like to buy maybe 5-6 more of these in order to make my Hogwarts Express as long as it's supposed to be in universe. That's really my one complaint when it comes to this set, that I just wish that it had all of the passenger cars that a normal Hogwarts Express would. That's really the one thing that I thought of when it came to LEGO making a UCS style Hogwarts Express. Now, even though this is an 18+ style set, we do happen to get a lot of playability and features in which you can display your minifigures, which I really appreciate. Starting from this side, we can remove this panel. In order to take a look at Harry and Ron, we have our next quote from the Philosopher's Stone. "Has anyone seen a toad?" by Hermione Granger. Now, I think that this could have maybe easily been replaced with something like "You've got dirt on your nose, by the way, did you know?" I think that would have been a really great quote for Hermione to have said. Considering we do get that exclusive print for Ron, I think that that would have been a really great move. Or maybe even when Harry introduces himself, I think that would have worked a lot better than this. Even though we do happen to get Trevor somewhere in this train, we'll find him. Another thing you may notice from the very top of the build is this. A little light, in which we also see 2 more times across the next 2 compartments. Now, looking a little closer into the design, you can see I put our minifigures inside, though I'm going to remove Harry just so then we can take a better look at these seats, which you'll see the same design being used for these in the next compartment. One thing I do really love about this is the fact that we get the clip piece connection in order to remove the armrest if you want. I think that's really great. You can see we have scabbers down there, same design that we got back in 2018, not the CMF version. Little chocolate bar, Bertie Bott's Every Flavor Beans from back in March. And another really interesting thing behind Ron there, which will remove him, is the fact that we get these little Hogwarts pictures, which is something that I don't think many people notice within the films. I think it's really interesting that LEGO decided to include those. We also have a place to store your bags from the very top using these fence pieces, which I think is really great. I love the attention to detail in this set, it's just really amazing. Now, as for the sliding door, we'll talk more about that when we actually spin this around, because there's an easier way to look at it. Our next compartment, which also has a nice light brick, you can see that even lights it up enough so you can see it better through the window there. We'll remove this panel. I also put all of our minifigures in here. We get more of those Hogwarts portraits. I like that inclusion. Same sort of design when it comes to the seats, where you have that removable armrest. We also get a reference to the bottle that freezes when the Dementors enter, which I think is a really great reference. I love that they included that there. And our one quote for Prisoner of Azkaban is, "I think someone's coming aboard," said by Ron Weasley. I guess we had Hermione say something, we had Ron say something. But again, this is really somewhere where I think they could have chosen a much better quote. In the very last compartment, based off the Half-Blood Prince, we'll light that up as well with the light brick. We have a bit of a change when it comes to the compartment design. We have, again, some really unique building techniques. I believe we have like this sign piece in order to block the anti-studs on that 2x4 tile piece. You can see the 2x4 tile piece from the back there. I think that's really interesting how they were able to create that. Again, just so many interesting building techniques. Getting the seat pieces in that dark blue color is also really interesting. Lots of those jumper plates around in order to place your minifigures, though it was a little hard to actually get them situated here where it made sense. We have both Harry and Luna, and our one quote, who isn't from Harry, Ron, and Hermione, is from Luna Lovegood. "Raxperts, your head is full of them," which I guess is an okay quote, but I think that we could have easily gotten like the "a pixie" or something like that. Another quote that I think would have been even more funny to see in this area, considering we got Harry, Ron, and Hermione, I think it would have been nice to see a quote from Draco. Something like "My father will hear about this," or something like that. I think would have been really funny to see included instead of this, and would have worked a lot better in my opinion. Now before we take a look at the other side, I just do have to appreciate getting these door pieces and all of these window frames. I love getting these window frame pieces, or I guess like smaller door frames as the windows. For the Hogwarts Express, they are a little scratched up, I think just because they were included in bags that weren't separated from the other parts. From the back side, you can see that we have some levers in order to actually pretend to like open the door. I think that's really interesting, and like a little light from the back can open the door nice and easily. Swings out on a hinge just connected by the one stud. Older style door, which I think is really nice to use for a set like this. I'll open one of these just to show how they work. Now as we bring ourselves to the other side, this is a little bit easier to actually see a lot of the action going on because these plates are just a touch bigger in order to actually lift off. This gives us better access to looking at these printed frames for the sliding doors. Now when I saw that they put these in here, I was so happy. I'm really pleased with how these turned out. They are a little wonky and loose, which is my only complaint, because you can see that you can like jiggle them around a lot. You do get a spot in order to actually like block it from going any further, which I like, from both sides, so you can actually bring it either way that you want. You get the same thing over here, where you get the little blockers, and I do just have to point out that print again. Really amazing that we get that. You can see that we have some lights and some extra window frames in order to actually see your characters through the compartment. I also have to point out when it comes to the design of the trolley and the trolley witch, you do actually get a nice spot in which you can actually fit her. I really love that you can do that. You can even fit her a little bit over here. You just gotta be careful because this, I believe, is the year 1 trolley. You can put it right there and see if anybody wants anything off the trolley. I think that's really great that you can actually fit her in that tiny spot. You can even fit Hermione over here as if she's coming to ask about Trevor. Again, the design of this set is really amazing. It's just really, really big and hard to move around. Now you may be wondering, how do we access these top areas? Now all we have to do is actually just jiggle up a piece over here, and that gives you easy access to see what these other rooms look like. This small room doesn't really have anything too exciting, some places to stand your minifigures, and another one of those sliding doors, which brings you into the year 6 compartment, which unfortunately doesn't really have a way to access it from this side. Bringing us back to the very front over here, you can lift up this piece, which is a little bit bigger, so you can take a look at what's going on over here, where we actually have quite a few notes, which I think is really interesting. Another sticker on that larger tile piece, which I believe is a brand new color. You can also see that we have some more door frames. And there he is, we finally found him, Trevor, hiding in a little corner on that jumper plate. Spinning back around to the other side, one more thing that I have to talk about when it comes to this compartment is the fact that we have some more luggage, just all stacked up, various colors to represent different houses. Before ending this segment, I do have to spin this upside down so we can take a look at the bottom, where you can see the wheels and a lot of the foundation. I do like getting these pieces in order to make those angles. I think that works very well. Some more building on the side, and just lots of covering up that works very well. Especially I like getting these curly pieces in gray. I think that actually works very well for this design and makes it look even cooler. So overall, for $500, is this set worth it? It depends. If you're a fan of Harry Potter, you may have mixed reactions. I personally was hoping for us to get a train with at least 5 passenger compartments, but realistically, I can now see how that wouldn't have been so easy for LEGO to do, and also keep with that size that works very well with our minifigures. Speaking of our minifigures, as much as I love LEGO going all out with house unity and diversity as of late, these 2 random students should have been replaced, at the very least, by epilogue versions of Ron and Hermione, as those are 2 figures that we'll very likely never see now that they've missed their opportunity to be in this set. Now on to the other thing that I've expressed quite a bit in this video that may turn some away from this set, and that is the size. It barely fits on my table, it's hard to get into frame. All in all, the price delivers a beautiful product. However, I think if this was made smaller with the right amount of passenger cars, focusing on just the epilogue to deliver those figures that we'd probably never see otherwise, this would be a 10 out of 10 set for me. Heck, if they made it like that, this may have been able to get motorized, which would make a lot of those train fans even more happy. Now, I'm not saying this is a bad set by any means, it's just not what I think many fans are looking for when it comes to owning a Hogwarts Express. So yeah, that's pretty much all that I have to say for this video. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below what your thoughts are on this set. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell icon so you know every time I upload a new video. So yeah, that's it for now, and I will see you next time. Bye!